All right, here's a few tips on one of my favorite submissions, the Guillotine. I like to play a lot of butterfly guard. The grips that I like to take to set this up is going to be a collar tie with my right arm, and then I'll take a grip on the bicep with my left hand. We're going to make sure that our hooks are going to be sticky on the inside of his legs and that our knees are pressed out nice and wide here. Our collar tie, we want to make sure that our hand is on the back of his head and not on the back of his neck where he can still posture up. We're going to make sure that our elbow stays on the inside so that we have this frame in between us in case this dude does try to just smash into us. He at least isn't going to get chest to chest, as opposed to leaving that elbow wide and him being able to come underneath it. So we're going to keep that elbow in nice and tight. Same thing with the left elbow. We'll keep it in nice and tight. As we're playing the grip fight here, we'll find these grips and we're going to push his elbow back to his hip right here. At the same time, we're going to snap him down with the right hand. You could go to either armpit. In this instance, I'm going to go to the same side. I'm going to go same side armpit, and I lean forward and I meet the back of his neck with the front of my shoulder. So it's not going to be my armpit on the back of his neck necessarily. It's going to be the front of that shoulder collapsing down on the back side of his neck. I'm keeping this grip on the bicep so that when it does come time to make my grip, I'm keeping his hand out on the outside. Get a little bit better chance of making my own grip and avoiding his hand being on the inside by making this post off the rip. As I come down, I'm going to make a chin strap grip around Casey's chin. I'm going to drive my thumb from one ear line all the way across to the other. Kind of a view from underneath would look like this, right? My thumb goes all the way around to his jawline. My wrist is right in the middle of his throat, and I'm collapsing my grip down and closing my elbow in. So we're going to keep this hand shallow. We're not going to shoot it deep for this style of guillotine. So once we snap it down into that same side armpit, we roll our shoulder forward. We have our grip on the chin. We've got our left hand on the inside of the bicep. We should be leaned forward here with our shoulders forward of our hips so that this guy can't just push us over backwards, right? When it comes time to make our grip, we're gonna fall to our right hip. We're not gonna fall straight back. I wanna keep the side of his head on my ribs. We don't wanna let his head start to pop out to the inside. We also wanna make sure as we fall back that we're not opening our shoulder up. So we're gonna keep this clinch between our shoulder and our wrist right here throughout the entirety of this. A couple different grips that you guys can try. The grip that I prefer, the Guillotine style grip, is going to be my left hand gripping into the back side of my right hand so that we can make this high elbow grip right here. Some of you guys might have some issues with your shoulder being able to get up that high. So you guys can go palm to palm if you'd like and bring the shoulder over the back. You guys could also try this OK grip where you make a little space on the inside with your thumb right here and you can reach your fingers to the inside of that and hook over his shoulder. So a couple different grips that you guys can play with. The back side of the hand, the palm, or that OK grip. For this particular style of guillotine, I'm not going to wrench this through any further. I'm just going to leave it right where it is. I prefer this grip on the back side of the hand so that I can avoid that hand fight with him trying to get palm to palm as we reach underneath here. I can still get my grip on the back side. For our legs, we're going to bring our right leg across his hip. We're going to look to hook his hip, and my left leg is going to throw over his back as I fall to my right hip. This left leg, sometimes you might catch his arm on the way. You might not. If you catch it, it's just kind of a bonus because now it's definitely going to be out of the hand fight. It's not always going to work out that way for you. So you're going to start it here in a good butterfly guard. Shoulders forward of your hips. Good tall posture. Hands on the inside. We're working for our grips. We're going to look to go collar tie, inside bicep control. I'm going to snap him down to the same side armpit. I meet the back of his neck by rolling my shoulder forward. I establish my chin strap control. I'm going to fall to my right hip as I shoot my right foot across. As we fall to our hip, we're going to create the space between our chest and his shoulder. Right now, even without a very good control of this arm, he still shouldn't be able to grab my hand very well with this hand. There shouldn't be a whole lot of space for him to reach in like this, right? So we're going to maintain control of that space by keeping our chest pressed into his shoulder. And when we decide that it's time to make that grip, as we fall to our hip, we're gonna create that space between our chest and his shoulder right there. Just a little bit. We don't have to fall way far away from it, but just enough space where we can get that hand in. I'll fall to my right hip. The left leg's gonna come over his back. Biggest thing here is keeping that compression between our shoulder and our wrist right here, and not rolling over backwards and letting his head start to pop out, right? And that's kind of a little exaggerated that his head might go that far, but it can definitely happen, right? So we want to make sure as we fall to the side that we're staying crunched up over the top. We'll get our finish right there.